Shalom, Yasharala. This your brother Dawada from GMS Tampa Bay 07, coming at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught me this truth and that ruled well. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, that's pushing this truth for sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions. All right. We're going to get into this quick little lesson, just dealing with a new song, so I wanted to get into this here quick little lesson. It's kind of about, what's going on right now, where we're living at now, the type of things that's going on now, and I'm going to grab these scriptures and then I'll, try to make it, elaborate a little bit on it. So we're going to just jump right into it. What I want to grab first. This is, This is Revelation 14, Revelation 14, and actually, I'm going to start somewhere else, actually. Let me go back, grab something to edify with. This is Ezekiel chapter 9. This is Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4. All right? Ezekiel 9 and 4. And Yahweh said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. All right. And now in Ezekiel 3, Ezekiel 3 and 11, it says, And go, get thee to them of the captivity unto the children of thy people, okay, to the children of Israel, and speak unto them, okay, and tell them, Thus saith Yahweh power, whether they will hear or whether they will forbear. Okay? And also, should have read verse 10. Ezekiel 3 and 10. Moreover, he said unto me, Son of man, all my words shall I speak unto thee, all the words that I speak unto thee receive in thy heart, and hear with thy ears. Verse 11. And go get thee to them of the captivity, unto the children of thy people, and speak unto them, and tell them, Thus saith Yahweh power, whether they will hear or forbear. Okay, so basically here, the Most High is like telling Ezekiel he's going to go out and prophesy unto the children of Israel, This all links up with Ezekiel 37, the valley of dry bones, So I wanted to bring that there out, and pair that with Ezekiel chapter 9, talking about, let me get it again, Ezekiel 9 and 4 says, And Yahweh said unto them, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the forehead. Okay, so the point I wanted to get was upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done thereof and done in the midst thereof. So the men that hearken unto the voice of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, who told us, look, here's the roll, eat the roll, ingest the roll, get understanding, things like that, then go out and feed my flock, So these men is going to be out on the highways and the byways, and these men is going to be, these are the elect, basically. These men are out there on the highways and the byways bringing up the rest of the elect, And so they're going to get this mark put on their forehead, which is exemption from judgment, okay? So now we're going to start our lesson that is, that's just a context of what's going on here, okay? So this is Revelation chapter, I'm going to start at the top. Revelations 14 and 1. It says, And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on the Mount Sion, and with him 144,000, having the Father's name written in their foreheads. Okay, busting through a couple different things here. This is Revelation chapter 7, and Revelation 7 and 3, saying, Hurt not the earth, neither the sea, nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our power in their forehead. Still talking about sealing these servants with the seal of the Most High in their forehead. Okay. And I heard the number of them which were sealed, and there were sealed 144,000. Okay, there's that 144,000 again, being sealed with this mark of exemption. Okay, the mark of the Most High. And who are these 144,000? It says all the tribes of the children of Israel. Okay, so these men that's out here sighing and crying, okay, on the highways and the byways in the midst of the city, these are the 144,000. All of the 12 tribes of Israel, the elect. Okay. So going back to Revelation 14 and 1, it says, And I looked, and lo, a lamb stood on Mount Sion, and with him 144,000, having his Father's name written in their foreheads. And I heard a voice from heaven, as if the voice of many waters, and as the voice of a great thunder, and I heard the voice of harpers harping with their harps. And they sung as it were a new song before the throne, and before the four beasts and the elders, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000 which were redeemed of the earth. Okay? And so now this here lesson is getting into this here song, this new song that they're talking about, okay? Well, we're going to keep reading about this new song and everything like that. So you have to wonder, what song are they singing, you know? Are they singing a new Lil Jon song, or I don't even know if he's hot right now, or wherever he's at, but whatever artist, you know? Are we talking about singing, like, you know, how they have a new trending song come out, you know? Are we talking about singing a song like that? No. The song that we're talking about singing is what we, you know, preface this lesson with, what we read in Ezekiel 9:4 and Ezekiel 3, and then which you can also read in Ezekiel 37, and also in Revelation chapter 7 about the 144,000 going out to the highways and the byways, you know, bidding as many to the marriage and fishing them and feeding the flock, you know. Those men would be out there in the highways and the byways, okay? And they out there singing a new song. And now we're going to get into what this here new song is, all right? It says, I'm going to just keep reading on through. Verse 4, these are they which were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. These are they that follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto Yahweh and to the Lamb. Okay? Now, for these, you know, dumb, low-level scoffers and Christians and shit like that, this isn't talking about, it says in verse 4, and these were they that were not defiled with women, for they are virgins. This isn't talking about, you know, 144,000 men that had never slept with women. The women that it's talking about, and the virgin that it's talking about, it's like when you read in Revelation 17 and 18 about that great whore that fornicated with all the kings of the earth. Again, you're not talking about an actual woman having actual sex with no actual man. Okay? You're talking about a nation who's making people drunk with just their philosophies. Okay? So here it's talking about the same thing. It says, these are they which were not defiled with women. Who are these women? The ones you go fornicating after. You go whoring after. All these other doctrines and things like that. You know, ideologies. Okay? For they are virgins. And the virgins meaning, you know, you could have been in a whole bunch of shit beforehand, but once you heard this truth, you put all that down and you just stuck with this here truth. You know, like the scriptures say, speaking about the Bible, roughly paraphrasing, none shall, basically nothing's going, you don't need nothing else to match up with this Bible. Well, how do I put it? None shall have her meet, or, you know, talking about the Bible. You don't need this book to help that book to make the Bible make sense, you know, or nothing like that. The Bible is the end-all, be-all, you know. With that one book, you got everything that you need up in that book, you know. But nevertheless, verse 5 says, and in their mouth was found no guile, for they are without fault before the throne of Yahweh. Okay? So, here we reading again this 144,000, says, and in verse 3 it says, they sung as if it was a new song before the throne. Okay? And that no man could learn that song but the 144,000. So, again, we're going to get deeper into this here new song, and while only the 144,000 can hear it. Alright? Well, I mean, I can bring this out. This is Revelation chapter 15, verse 3. It's, well, verse 2. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire. Speaking about the lake of fire, you know, when you have an intense heat and pressure and stuff like that, you know, all you need is like sand, water, and intense heat and pressure to make glass, you know, pretty much, or dust, you know. And I saw as if it were a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark, and over the number of his name, stand on the sea of glass, having the harps of Yahweh. And they sing the song of Moses, the servant of Yahweh, and the song of the Lamb, saying, great and marvelous are thy works, Yahweh power almighty, just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints. Okay? So here, you know, now when you read, that's like one of my favorite chapters in the whole Bible is Deuteronomy 32, you know, with the Song of Moses, you know, and the Song of Moses brings you full circle, you know. It tells you about, you know, Lord willing, if I got a little bit of time, I'll actually read through a little bit of it, but pretty much it's like a synopsis of what Israel was going to do, you know. It started out, you know, well, in the process of the timeline, how it's telling you, it's like, you know, the Most High found him in the desert land. Basically, he found you when you wasn't shit. Then he brought you up and sat you up on high. then Jezreel waxed fat, you know. You kicked, you know, you got too comfortable. Then you forgot the Most High, then the Most High put that punishment on you, you know. Then after all of that, it says he basically going to deliver you from all your adversaries, you know, and all those that hate him, you know. So that's, you know, a whole summary of, you know, the nation of Israel's time frame, or what they, not time frame, but, you know, the things that they would be doing in their life, you know. From the time he found them as being a nobody until the time, you know, he brought them up on high, to the time he brought them down way low, even until the time that he redeems them and brings back salvation, you know. That's the whole synopsis, okay? And so prior to this time, we didn't have all that whole understanding. We had, if we had anything, we had this in pieces and fragments, you know. You couldn't make understandings to these things now. But now, everything is all full circle. You can see the whole thing. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. This makes sense, you know. That's just like if you was to read, again, the Song of Moses, like in the beginning time, Deuteronomy 32, you know, if you're reading that in the beginning, it says he found him in a desert land, you know. Imagine you living in that time frame, you know. Well, in that time frame, you hadn't even, you know, been built up. You hadn't been set on high yet. Then you hadn't went off, because you can't go off if you hadn't even been given, you know, being built up. Then with you going off, you hadn't even been punished, because, again, you hadn't went off yet. You hadn't even got the law, statutes, commandments yet, you know. So, you know, it's more or less a time frame. So, but in those days, you couldn't see certain things because, again, those things hadn't come to pass. But now, we see all these things already happen except for our salvation, so we can see this whole thing and completely put it all together. And now we're bringing it all out and being able to break down these scriptures, because it's all being revealed into us at this point in time, you know. So this is how these men are on the highways and the byways, prophesying, you know, and feeding the elect and fishing them out and things like that, okay. The Most High put his spirit on them and started supping with them, basically to, you know, like we read in Ezekiel. He said, I'm going to put these words in your mouth and you're going to go speak to the children of Israel, okay. It's the Most High's deal that's going on. It's not our own song, you know. It's not our own breakdown of the Bible for you know, shit, I guess like 2,000 plus years, you know, even before that, you know, men have been putting their own swing on the Most High's doctrine, you know. Like when Yahushua walked the scene, you had the money changers and things like that, and before that, you know, you had the wicked kings of Israel and the you know, you had the children of Israel going off, you know. So plenty of times throughout there, they have been remixing this song and making their own little song, you know. And the song being the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. And also, you know, long story short, like how we read now, these prophecies in the breakdown, you know. But for them in those times, before any of those things came to pass, you know, more or less it was just keeping the law, statutes, and commandments. But then they put that song down and picked up, you know, they went a horn after these other nations, you know. Like it says, you know, these are virgins over here. They weren't defiled with women. We didn't go off and, well, obviously we had already was off, but once we came into this, we didn't go pick up Egyptology and try mixing that with this, and Buddhists and try mixing that with this. We didn't do all that. We stayed virgins. We was only fucking with our one woman, okay? These scriptures, Sophia, all right? Next scripture we're going to get is the book of Psalms. Actually, the next, let me get it real quick. This Psalms 40. I'm going to read from the top, because it's kind of like, you know, it's pretty much like the same thing that was being spoken in Deuteronomy 32, you know. But this is Psalms 40. I'm going to start at the top. It says, a psalm of David. I waited patiently for Yahweh, and he inclined unto me and heard my cry. Okay? Yeah, this is the patience and the faith of the saints. Okay? And he brought me up also out of a horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock, and established my goings. Yeah, like now, this is David speaking in David's time. He had his own thing, but like I'm saying, this is a little deeper than that, you know? Because the things that was written aforetime was written for our learning and understanding. So it says, he brought me up also out of the horrible pit, out of the miry clay, and set my feet upon a rock. Okay, and the rock is perfect. It's still, you know? When you read Deuteronomy 32, it goes right, it's using the same analogy, you know. It says, set my feet upon a rock and establish my goings. Okay. Let me go back to that one more time. He brought me up out of a horrible pit and out of the miry clay and set my feet upon a rock and established my goings. Yeah, Ezekiel 37, the valley of dry bones. Okay, using that dead pit, you know. But he raised you up and blew breath back into you, or he put the flesh back on you and then blew breath into you. Now you alive. Okay. Verse 3, and he put a new song in my mouth. Okay, like we read in Ezekiel, he's going to put these words in your mouth, and you're going to tell them whatever I told you to tell them, all right? And he put a new song in my mouth, even praise unto our power. Many shall see it and fear, and shall trust in Yahweh. Okay? Now, you on the highways and the byways, you know, you put these videos up, you know. There's some akim that, you know, pretty much all of us, you know, how we got into this truth, you know. We all came, you know, you might have liked certain things here or there off rip, you know, and then you kind of started getting into it, and then you found out certain things, or, you know, you had heard certain things and you was immediately cut by it, you know, and then you had to just clean yourself up and then and get right, you know. You feared the Most High. Oh shit, wait a minute. You know, you could be walking past a camp and you all tatted up or something like that, you know. And you hear somebody preaching and they tell you, hey man, that's wicked according to the scriptures, you know. And the Most High can put you to death for that, you know. Like, you know, the Most High ain't playing, you know, you doing some fuck shit, you know. And then these people, like, oh shit, show me that in the Bible, you know. And then they read it and then they're like, oh, show me some more, show me this and show me that, you know. Nevertheless, you know, you also out there on the highways and the byways. Now, like we read in, well, we didn't read this, but if you go to Ezekiel chapter 3, it says, I set you to be a watchman upon, you know, the children of Israel, you know. If I tell you to go tell the wicked nigga that he finna get put to death and he turned not away from his stuff, then he gonna die in his own wickedness, but you gonna be delivered, you know. But if you don't tell him, then he gonna still die and the blood gonna be on your hand, okay? So it says, verse 3 again, and he put in me a new song in my mouth, even praise unto Yahweh. Many shall see it and fear and shall trust in Yahweh. Okay, many's gonna see it and fear. Yeah, just like you know, just like I was saying, you know, tell the wicked, you know, and then hopefully he gonna change his ways, you know. Blessed is that man that maketh Yahweh his trust and respected not the proud, nor such turn aside to lies. Okay, and again, that's defiling your virginity, more or less to say, you know, you going after these other doctrines and stuff like that, you know. That was just another little add-on, but because we just read about those virgins, you know. Next scripture is in the book of Psalms again. This time is the 96th Psalms. And I'm going to read this one here all the way through. This Psalms 96, I'm starting at the top, verse 1. Oh, sing unto Yahweh a new song. Oh, and let me read it again. Oh, sing unto Yahweh a new song. Sing unto Yahweh all the earth. Sing unto Yahweh, bless his name. Show forth his salvation from day to day. Declare his glory among the heathen, his wonders among all people. Okay? When we're on the highways and the byways and putting these videos up, what do you think we're doing, you know? We're not inside of a church or a little building that's exclusive only for those members. We're on the highways and the byways that anybody that walk by, they're going to hear and they're going to see it, you know? Not only that, we streaming, for the most part, we moving to a new format where we live stream it, you know? But beyond that, you know, we upload it to YouTube if it was a regular type of video, you know? And so anybody on the internet could come across it. The whole world can see it, you know? Not only that, throughout the week, just like this, we put videos up to edify, you know? So it's pretty much not a dull time, you know? The whole, you know, it says, sing unto Yahweh, bless his name, show forth his salvation from day to day. Yeah, every day it's a new video coming up. Hour to hour, it's a new video coming up. Declare his glory among the heathen and his wonders among all people. Yeah, in the highways and the byways and the chief concord places thereof, you know. It says, for Yahweh is great and greatly to be praised, for he is to be feared above all gods. And now, see, this is getting into a new doctrine, because think about this. The old doctrine was, you know, we believe in Jesus, you know, whatever. You can do whatever you want. Crowley Christianity, do thou wilt, you know. This was the song beforehand, you know. All of us was living in a certain type of way beforehand, but now we heard this here new song, like, oh shit. You know, the Most High name is Yahweh. His son's name is Yahweh Shah. They so-called, what you would call so-called black men. We are the same nation, and he already fucked us up by putting us in slavery because we went off. Oh, hell no, I got to get right, you know, because I ain't trying to, it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power, you know. You know, so we got to put these strange gods and these fake-ass gods down, you know. So it says, for Yahweh is great and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods. Okay? And again, like I said, this is the point being made because now we had the whole thing full circle. Okay? We already know what happens when we go worshiping other gods. It's not like he's just telling us and we don't know what the repercussion is. We already know. All right? It says, for all the gods of the nations are idols, but Yahweh have made the heavens. Okay, so now imagine trying to tell us this beforehand, like when we was off in Egypt, trying to worship that golden cow. We didn't know what the judgment of the Most High was at that point in time, you know what I'm saying? We hadn't even experienced nothing yet, you know? We had just met the Most High. Okay, in the process of meeting the Most High, Moses was still up on the mountain. We started going off, you know. But how much more now when we have, you know, all this history and everything's being manifest unto us now? It's a whole new deal. Verse 6, honor and majesty are before him, strength and beauty are in his sanctuary. Give unto Yahweh, O ye kindreds of the people, give unto Yahweh glory and strength. Okay, and these are all the things that we out here pushing now, you know. First and foremost, we pushing his name, Yahweh, and his son's name, Yahweh Shah. Beforehand, we talking about God and Jesus. Okay, how you gonna praise Yahweh when you don't even know how to call him by his name? How you gonna be saved by the only name you can be saved by if you don't know what that name is? Okay. Verse 8, give unto Yahweh the glory due to his name. Like I just said, stop calling him God. Okay, like when you know, I mean, there's certain scenarios and stuff. I mean, that's acceptable, but for the most part, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you married to a woman, right? Your woman know your name. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's all right for her to say sometimes, you know, for the sake of conversation, that's my husband over there. Okay? Oh, that's my husband. Oh, my husband's right here. You know? Oh, I'm married, or that's my man, or something like that. You know? But for her to, if she's talking to you directly, you know, like my name is Dawada, for her to be like, to come up to me like, you know, it would be normal for her to be like, oh, what you want to eat today, Dawada, or oh, what you want to do today, Dawada, these type of things. But if she was to keep coming up to me like, oh, what you want to do today, husband? Oh, what you want to do today, this, oh, what you want to do today, like that, you know? These things here that would piss you off, you know, because you're like, bitch, say my name, you know? You know what my name is. Show me some respect, you know? You say, oh, that's my husband to those people down there because of the fact of they don't quite know me like that on that type of level. So therefore, it's just easier for you to say, oh, that's my husband, okay? But nevertheless, verse 8 again, give glory unto Yahweh, the glory due unto his name. Bring an offering and come into his courts. Oh, worship Yahweh in the beauty of holiness and fear before him all the earth. Okay? And so, again, at this point in time, you got Esau and all these other nations doing whatever they want to do, and 2/3 of our people doing whatever they want to do, worshiping Esau. But there's going to be a time and a place where everybody's going to be worshiping Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. Okay? And it's like all these nations are going to come to you and basically giving sacrifices and stuff unto Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. It says, kiss the king lest he be angry, you know. But that hadn't come into play yet. But we slowly getting there, you know. How are we getting these people in line? We telling them they all heathen, okay? They beneath us. We about to rule. Esau the damn devil. Then we about to put his ass in slavery and we gonna rule next. Okay, so we already giving them the idea of what's about to happen, you know. So we slowly, how do they say, predictive programming they ask for what's about to come, you know. It says, verse 10, say among the heathen that Yahweh reigneth. The world also shall be established, that it shall not be moved. Okay? He shall judge the people righteously. Let me go back. It says, the world also shall be established, that it shall not be moved. What does that mean? Now, the planet's already here and it ain't going nowhere. But it's talking about, like, with all these other nations ruling and Esau ruling, the whole planet's all fucked up. Everything's upside down, inside out. It's all in a fucked up array. Okay? It's not how the Most High had created it, or Yahushua actually created it. You know, it wasn't how the Most High had it ordained. Okay? But now, when Yahushua comes back and reign, you know, everything gonna be renewed, everything gonna be made new, everything gonna be in righteousness. Okay? So this is how the world is not gonna be moved. You're not gonna have chaos type of shit going on. You're not gonna have pollutants and the earth, how do you say, crying out because of the abominations thereof. You know? It says, let the heavens rejoice and let the earth be glad. Let the sea roar and let the fullness thereof, and the fullness thereof. Let the field be joyful, and all that is therein. Then shall all the trees of the wood rejoice. Again, like I just said, you know, the earth ain't gonna be mourning no more. The water, the oceans ain't gonna be plagued and shit from all the oil spilt in there. Okay, the trees ain't gonna be lacking oxygen from all the chemtrails being sprayed on it. Right? Verse 13. Before Yahweh, for he cometh to judge the earth. He shall judge the world with righteousness and the people with his truth. All right, he's already judging the world with his truth right now. But when Yahweh shall come back and put that sword on people, you know, this is something that people don't quite understand. They don't quite know about. They think that he's coming back with flowers and shit like that to save everybody, you know. But this new song is going out. It's contrary to what they've been hearing beforehand. They've been hearing, as long as I believe on the name of Jesus, John 3:16, I'm gonna be saved, baby. While I'm eating this here pork sandwich, you know, and sleeping with another man's wife, you know, all at the same time. You know, that's pure wickedness, you know. But the new song is going out saying? You gotta come back to the law, statutes, commandments to your best abilities, you know? You gotta reverence the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Waha Kadash Rakah, the Father, the Son, and the name and the Holy Spirit, you know? But nevertheless, we're gonna pull one more scripture. Back in Psalms one more time. It's Psalms 149. Salaki for dragging on too long. I'll try to make this quick as possible. This is Psalms 149, and I'm gonna just get straight to the point. Alright, well, I'll just get to the point and I'll just break down what's going on here. It says, Psalms 144 and 9. I will sing a new song unto thee, O Yahweh, until upon a psalmistry and an instrument of 10 strings, I will sing praise unto thee. Okay, now again, this is like David speaking, but like, how do I say, this is twofold metaphorically, because you know, the elect, the 144,000 is referenced as the tabernacles of David, you know, the house of David, you know. So, you know, and also my beloved, the ones that I have chosen, you know, the elect, you know. That's what the name David or Dawadah means. It means beloved, you know. The Most High loved David, so this is what we're talking about. But here it's talking about him singing a new song, all right? I'm going to just read this one. It says, it says, verse 11, rid me and deliver me from the hands of the strange children, whose mouth speaketh vanity, and their right hand is a right hand of falsehood. Yeah, a couple years ago, we was all hand in hand with Esau, the white man, thinking he was, you know, our God and shit like that. But now, we seeing that that's our enemy, you know? Saying, deliver me from fucking this devil, you know? Put this devil into captivity and shit like that, you know? Because, like, you know, like, he destroyed us, you know? One more. Verse 12. That our sons may be as a plant grown up in their youth, that our daughters may be as a cornerstone polished after the similitude of a palace. Basically saying, like, how scriptures say he's going to write it inside of us in our inward parts, the law, statutes, commandments, you know? And there ain't going to be no more death. We're going to have these law, statutes, commandments written inside of us, and we're not going to die or go off, you know? But nevertheless, David is asking for that new song. He's you know, saying spiritually throughout the Spirit, it's like, wake me up. Like he says, man, I can't think of where it said. I think it's Psalms 90 where it says, create me a new heart, you know? Change me from my ways that I used to be. Let that old man be dead and let this new man be born up, you know? Let us sing a new song. And that, again, that new song, what is that new song, you know? Just to recap before we close out, that new song is this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, all right? It's that seal of the Most High in your forehead, you know? It's you know, knowing the names of the Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, you know, knowing your name and who you are. Not, I mean, not your actual name, you know, but like you the children of Israel, you know? That's what I mean by when I say you know what your name is, you know, okay? When you look in the Bible, you can find your name in the Bible, okay? The children of Israel. That's your name in the Bible, okay? And you have your respective tribes, but, you know, in general, your name in the Bible is Israel. That's the nation that you represent, or that represents you in the scripture, all right? But nevertheless, again, with this new song, a lot of the ideologies and things that has changed, you know? Growing up, like me for myself, growing up in church, you know? I went to church, followed along with my grandma when I was a little kid, you know? In my grandma's house where I stayed at and stuff. A bunch of pictures of Cesare Borgia in the bathroom, the hallway, the living room, the kitchen, the bedrooms. They all had pictures of him, or she had pictures of him everywhere, you know? Went to church every day of the week, twice on Thursdays, you know? Well, we didn't go on, I think Saturday we didn't go to church, which is ironic. But nevertheless, you know, we did all of that stuff, you know? So that was how I was brought up, you know? And there was a point in time where I was just like, you know, when I got old enough not to be able to go to church, we was straight. But, because I kind of knew something was off about that. But nevertheless, you know, that was my upbringing, you know? Had I would have stayed a virgin into that Christianity, you know, I wouldn't want to hear none of that, you know. You couldn't prove to me, there was no way I mean, you could prove it to me, but there would be no way I would accept that, you know, who the world only calls Jesus Christ. First of all, his name ain't Jesus, or his name is Jesus Christ, you know, for this scenario, you know. You couldn't convince me that his name was something different, you know. Even if you showed and proved to me that the letter J was just a recent invention, his name to me still would have been Jesus, you know. If You know, all these things. He still would have been a white man, even if he would have showed me that the white man is our oppressor, been oppressing us, and it would just make no sense for us to be bowing down unto him to get us up out of our problems when he's actually the devil, okay? You know, that's a little backwards, you know, that like, you can't go to the devil and asking him for salvation when he was the one being put on you to torture you, you know? But that's that old-ass song that we kept playing on replay, and that 2/3 of our people still play to this day. They still playing that same-ass old song on replay, and you see what's going on. You know, you play an old-ass tape over and over and over again, it started getting warped, and it started getting distorted, and it started fucking up. And then you lose your tape in the tape deck and get all ate up. That's what's wrong with our people now. They all ate up from fucking around with all these other doctrines and these other women and stuff like that. Not actual women, but metaphorically. You fucking around with all these other women or being these other doctrines. So you are a Polite Egyptologist, you know? But you can't call it none of your gods because your gods got destroyed. I mean, they was all fake anyway, but your gods got destroyed in Egypt long ass time ago. They still reverence, bring that back up, you know? So, you know, that was us back in the day, our old worn out tape, you know, playing the same ass song. It's all distorted and stuff. But nowadays, you know, the Most High done programmed us in MP3 format, MP4 format. Our CD ain't gonna skip no more because it's digital media. At any point in time, we can copy and paste and keep it going, baby. You know, this that new song, you know. And I want to say Tawada Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah for letting me hear this here, this one-of-a-kind album. This is the greatest album of all times, you know. And Lord willing, I can sit here and repeat this song over and over and over again and learn these words word for word as if, you know, as I did as a heathen in the world, you know, learning rap songs. You hear a rap song over and over and over again on the radio, you start knowing that song. You know, you don't even have to think about it, you just start singing it. And the same with these scriptures. The more and more we go into these scriptures, we read and we study, we go in the highways and the byways and we edify. You know, these things are in the back of our head like that. It's the wisdom and knowledge is going to be the stability of our time. And we see these things coming to pass. So, you know, like I said, I've been dragging on way too long. I didn't want this video to be just 3 times as long as I wanted it to be. But nevertheless, I'm going to say, Call Halal Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah, which means all praises to who you would call God and Jesus, who you would call Jesus Christ. You know, I actually use their real name. Yahweh being who you would ignorantly call God, and Yahweh Shah is who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ. Okay? So, and Call Halal means all praises. Okay? So, Call Halal Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah. And double honors to the apostles and the elders, a great millstone that taught me this truth and that ruled well. And much love and salutations to you, Akim, that's pushing this truth and sincerity in the 4 corners of the earth and enduring afflictions. Stay strong. Shalom, Yasharallah.